All right, guys. Welcome to the Freedom Squad's Team Call Tuesday. I'm so happy we have an amazing guest speaker tonight. I cannot wait to hear from her. I'll go over that in a little bit, but I want to start off with some announcements. We are in the middle of an awesome launch. Tomorrow is the first of the month, as you all know, and that means we're 20 days out from the Mix bike launch, you guys. If we're not talking about this, we need to be, so make sure you're talking about that daily. If you haven't tried Body through the beta testing, please hop on and do a live workout. Even if it's not one where you're actually live on screen, you can try one of the recordings. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I love having just a 30-minute choice if I need to throw in something extra, or I actually hurt my back in my soccer game and I'm like, I just cannot do 6:45. Everything is killing me. So I was able to go through and pick a nice little 30-minute something or other that can work. It's going to be great in between programs. Like, I cannot say enough about it. If you haven't tried it, get on there and try it, people. But we are getting ready to launch that bike, which I could not be more excited about. So let's make sure that we are talking about that. And it is a launch just like any other program. So we're not going to take 4 calls specifically to talk about a launch, but you need to be doing what we know best, and that's how to launch a program. And it's the same for the bike. So September 21st can't come soon enough with that. So as for Success Club, I am not showing any boards right now or tonight because it is the last day of the month. And to be honest, I was completely lazy because I have to redo them again tomorrow for month's end. But it's not over till it's over, guys. No codes left behind. If you're not going to use your codes, share them. We can let's give them to someone who can. Let's help each other out. You know it was a rough month if corporate gives you a $10 off code. So please know, those of you that are on the Success Club board, there are quite a few of you. I'm very proud of you, but I want you to keep going. Let's not let any of those go to waste. Let's help as many people as we can with that. Another huge thing that was supposed to be trained on today in the roundtable, and it got pushed till tomorrow, I'm sure just because of logistics, but we are going to be launching the customizable challenge pack this month, which makes me so excited because I know that that's going to help us with our retention and more Success Club points and helping more people, right? Because it won't just be Shakeology or a performance stack. Maybe you love Hydrate, Collagen, and Energize. Whatever the 90 PV will be able to set some customizable marks in that share cart that will still count as a challenge pack, which will still earn you Success Club. So like I said, that training is tomorrow for me, so I will report back to you in the team page. And I have one huge thing that is just about to come out to Diesel Nation that I am a little sad that I pushed Brad to 1-star last year, because this year we are in a 1-star push for NLC hosted by Diesel Nation, and the penthouse of the Bellagio has just been reserved for any brand new 1-stars that hit between now and November and get invited to NLC. So if you are Diamond, this needs to be your next push. If you are not Diamond, you need to get there, and let's start your 1-star plan, because NLC is the absolute most amazing event. I have been to every single Beachbody event in the last 7 years, almost 8 years, and NLC is what changed my business, and I know every successful coach says that. And Peyton, get Nick to 1-star and you can go as a guest. So I already advanced my spouse account, so I can't use that option. But I know so many of you on this call could definitely earn that, and Christina's going to go live and give that all to you. So absolutely, if that isn't incentive to push, I do not know what is, because NLC is the best, and the penthouse suite in the Bellagio sounds amazing, and let's make it happen. So last but not least, our coach of the week this week is Marie. I just have to give her a huge shout out. Not only did she just have a baby, just a 3 weeks ago, I believe yesterday, but she is leading on the Success Club board, as well as jumped back into a program yesterday. And I'm just so proud of her. So way to go, woman. Glad to have you back. And can't wait to watch you rock it. So enough with our announcements and all that stuff, as exciting as it all is. I wanted to announce and introduce to you guys Miss Amy Wells. She has been so fun to work with. I have to tell you that we have been hit and miss with our schedules, with all the chaos that's going on with COVID and everything else. She works as a school counselor, and every single week she's like, girl, I'm so annoying. You're going to hate me for this. And I'm like, oh no, it's just life. Please don't say that. I totally get it. Because life has been crazy at her work, as you all can imagine. We connected through our 5-star thread, which all the more reason to rank advance in this business, guys. The connections you create as you rank really do create the foundation of growth in this business. But Miss Amy is from Colorado, so it is a little later for her than it is for us. Like I said, she's a full-time as a school counselor. She's been coaching 5 years. She's a lifetime 5-star diamond, Success Club All-Star 10 legend, which means she has hit Success Club 10 at least 36 consecutive months in a row, which tells me that it is a non-negotiable in her business. And she's also a 2021 Premier Coach. So that says a lot about who she is in her work ethic. But tonight she's going to talk to you about showing up through the hard and all the no matter whats. Amy, go ahead and take it away.
You are so sweet, and I want to come hang out with you guys in your freaking Diesel Nation stuff. Sounds amazing, by the way. I'm like, wait, I want to do all those things. So thank you so much. And yes, we have been communicating for many, many, many weeks, and I am super organized. And then I had kids, and we are in a pandemic, and I'm barely above water. So thank you for having me. I'm really excited. I am hopeful not to talk super long. I want to open it up for questions if you guys have any. I don't know, a lot about this business, I think, is a lot about asking questions. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my story. I've got a couple of little pointers that I think will be helpful. And then if you guys have questions, please write it down or ask me at the end. So I've been a coach for a little bit over 5 years. I work full-time as a school counselor. I have been working in the schools for the last 18 years. It's been absolutely insane. And so when I decided to pick up coaching, my husband was working in the oil fields in Colorado. So from where we live up in the mountains at 8,900 feet in this beautiful, beautiful area, he was driving an hour and a half south to get to his yard for oil service work. And then he would sometimes be gone for 2 weeks at a time, if not a month at a time. It was a really crazy time of our business, his business, my life. I was at that point, we had a 5-year-old, I was pregnant, I was miserable. I just was going through all the emotions of just being like, oh my gosh, I'm working full time and I don't have this husband and whatever. And so we had our second baby. And since when I was still pregnant, I was watching somebody on social media, right? Doing all the things, looking super healthy, looking super happy. I graduated high school a couple years below her. And I'm like, why is she so happy with her life? Why not me, right? And so here I am up in the mountains. We have no neighbors. We own 5 acres. And I'm like, I am just miserable. Life should be a lot better. And I decided to, I had already tried Beachbody a year before. I actually was that coach that signed up as a coach right away. Got super mad within the first week, returned all my stuff and my Shakeology, got my money back because I was like, this is so gross. I am not going to be able to get a fix in a box with all this stuff. Sent everything back, and a year went by, and I still kept kind of watching these coaches. And I was like, okay, why did I not like it? I don't understand, but granted, I never gave it the time, all those things. And so my husband was, like I said, gone. I had just had the birth of our second baby. I'd been following along for a while, and I reached out to this girl that I knew, and I was like, I think I'm ready to sign up as a coach again. And she's like, well, you always, every time you talk about it, you have nothing positive to say. And I'm like, well, right, I never actually did it. I don't feel confident, all the different things I was going through in my life. And I was like, but I feel, for whatever reason, I'm feeling into it. I want to try. It was when Hammer and Chisel had been launched, which is, I feel like, forever ago. And I signed up with the coach package, told her 100% I wasn't going to work this business. I'm just going to do this for a couple months. I'm going to send, get my money, not get my money back at that point. I'd already done that, but I was like, I plan to do this for 6 months. or 2 to 3 months, I'm going to cancel, and that's it. And she sent me a bunch of training. So the first time I signed up, I didn't get a lot of the training things. Second time around, she had sent me just like this link about trying some different trainings, trying to different, learn a little bit more about what this coaching thing was, which I never planned on doing. However, I was like, I'm going to watch a video. She had actually done a video. Her coach had done a video, very short, like a minute long. And I was like, I'm going to watch this, fine, whatever. And within a couple hours, I was locked into this. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no time to take anything else on. After the birth of our second baby, I'd only taken a 5-day maternity leave. I was freaking insane, but my husband was gone. And I'm like, well, I can't go back to work in 3 weeks. I have to keep going because I had this 5-year-old at home and no husband. I was like, I'm just gonna start going back to work in 5 days and take on coaching. I had time for any of this stuff. But what I realized is the community right away is what brought me in. And I was like, I need this. And so this is going to go back and forth for a second, and I apologize. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about as I'm telling you my story, excuse me, it's something in my throat. For me, at the very beginning, Success Club was a non-negotiable. Not because I knew anything about Road to Elite, not because I knew anything about anything, but I was like, oh my gosh, if I sign up 3 people, I can go on a free trip. What does that look like for me and my husband and my family? And so I desperately needed the community. I desperately needed to have a date night with my husband, which I hadn't had in 10 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I sign up 3 people, and I was so inspired by the business at that time, I just felt like, okay, my coach is saying is to hit Success Club. Again, I didn't know anything about this business. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And so that was kind of what started my journey as a coach. And it was this whole, I'm just going to do it for a little bit, and I would hit my Success Club, 5, sometimes within the first couple of days. And then I wouldn't do anything for the rest of the month. And the next month would come up. And then I was waiting till the end of the month. But I knew no matter what, I needed to hit that. And I did it. And the thing is that I knew I needed that community. And so later on in my business is when I realized whoa, if I signed up Success Club 10, I start to get some free real leads this time, different people that are coming into my business, and I was making more money. And so again, when you start as a discount coach and you don't come into this to make a profit or to make a business, I came at it in a weird way. And so you may be here wanting to build a business, and I get that. And I'm going to talk about that in a second too, how you can do that even if you don't have people that want to work. But for me, I was just a discount coach trying to be able to get some free trips, being able to love up on this community. And so I did that. And I think the biggest thing as a coach, at least as long as the longer I do this, and now obviously doing pushing for different goals, pushing for different things, that non-negotiable of hitting Success Club every month, if you really are in this to be a discount coach or a business building coach, is super important. I thought I was a business building coach when I first signed up, even though I knew I wasn't, but I was like, oh, I'm hitting Success Club. That's being a business builder. Where I was like, wow, I'm making $18 this week. Well, the next week, maybe I'd make 100. And I wasn't making the money necessarily, which wasn't my goal. My goal was to help women feel comfortable in their bodies. But I was realizing okay, it's not just Success Club. And so as I'm doing this and I'm earning some free trips because I'm working my freaking butt off, I'm also realizing maybe that's not, maybe I do have different goals, maybe I do want to quit my job. Maybe I do want to be able to, afford more things for my family. I went through all those different emotions as far as, how that goes. And what I love about this business is you can do that. And I think, the biggest thing is if you're a brand new coach or if you're a seasoned coach, you need to decide what your goals are, what your why, why you're doing this. When I started, again, I just wanted to have the community. That was my first initial push. And then I was like, wait a second, I want to be able to earn some free trips. And then I was like, wait a second, maybe I can afford to go on other trips with my family. Maybe I can go and not be a school counselor anymore and not have to work these long, strenuous hours, as I'm living this life of my life, right? So that was my first thing I want to talk about, is just the Success Club being non-negotiable. And it doesn't matter if you are a brand new coach, if you are a seasoned coach, you guys have to hit that. And I think it it gives you leverage on different levels, no matter of what you're looking for. And so, and it helps your team if you're wanting to hit different team goals and things like that. But it is one of those things that I feel like it makes me keep my foot in the game all the time. No matter what, like that's my goal every single month. I talk to my girls about it, and it's just such an important thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that, like, are you like what your goals are, where you're at with this business, and really what you're going for. Like for me, I was like, I'm an all-in coach. Oh my gosh, I'm all in. I signed up 3 people this month. And I'm like, then realizing I'm watching these people like around me hit different things, which is great and fine. And so you really need to decide, like, if you're all in, what that looks like talking to your coach, being able to figure out like what actually you want to hit with this business, like what your ultimate goal is and how you're going to get there. And just, really being, like real with yourself. Like, so for a very, very long time in my business, I was waking up. I work full time as a school counselor. I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was working my business with East Coast girls, because all my girls on the East Coast, and I would work from like 3:15 till 4:15 doing my power hour every day. And then I would do my workout to be able to get all that done before I went to school. And that changed my business. And I don't know if you guys know the name Craig Holiday. He was a mentor in my upline for a long time. Really great guy, whatever. But his whole thing is like, do your work or business like you do your workouts. Like for me, I started my very first program before I started coaching was P90X. And working out is the easy part for me. I love to work out, but was I ever actually showing up with my business the way that I was showing up with my workouts? And so I think you guys need to be really real about that. Either if you work full time or part time, or you don't work at all, the only way your business is going to move forward is if you're actually doing the power hours and like really showing up. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to show up for a cut, because this is what my team's doing right now. I don't know. August has been a hard month. July's been a hard month for my team. I don't know where you guys are at. But a lot of it is I'm like, well, have you worked the business like at all? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, that's interesting. Like your business won't move until you move forward. And I'm just as guilty. Like since I've been back to school since the last couple of weeks, things are crazy. And so if you really want to make this business work, like maybe you get up a little bit earlier, you like stay up a little bit later, all those different things. And then the other thing, the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about, and then open it up for questions. I apologize, I'm going so fast. But so when I started this business a little bit over 5 years ago, I was the only person in my downline working. Well, I had my husband, right? So I initially signed up my husband, and I signed up my mom to get myself to Emerald. I had no business building coaches for the first year of my business. I was like sharing the opportunity like 5 to 10 times a week. I was super excited about it, yet I was getting people that were really excited and then never did anything. But I knew if I could sign up my husband and I could sign up my mom, if people sign up with me or not, it doesn't matter. I can still build a successful business having these 2 people in my court directly underneath me. And so that's how I got myself to Emerald. Once I hit Diamond, I ended up putting my husband to 1 star, or my husband to Diamond, making me 1 star, and my mom to Diamond, making me 2 star. And so if you are a coach that doesn't have anybody working in your business, which was me, and I get it, there's ways that you can make it work. Maybe you don't have a spouse account that you can do. Maybe you don't have a parent, like, family account that you can use. Maybe you've got a best friend that wants to support you and watch you thrive. Maybe like there can be ways that you can make this work to be able to get yourself to 2 star. Me hitting 5 stars. So I hit 5 star lifetime in April of this year. I had like 1-ish working coach. A lot of it was just being able to have people help me as I like built this business. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. And as I'm like now kind of sitting back, like it is harder to be able to kind of work, but I want you guys to know, like there's nothing that gets in your way. So if you have people that get really excited to build and they get like halfway to Diamond and then they quit, I've had that happen. Or maybe you get people that get up to Diamond and then last for a day and then quit, or last for a day and then like lose other coaches. Like it happens, but just know that nobody else in your business should be able to dictate what your business should look like. And so literally hitting 5 star alone, pretty much 2 star alone by myself is possible. But I just want you to know that like, don't ever give up. Like if you don't have people that you feel like are working. And the biggest thing that I try to tell my team, and I feel like I try to be really motivated in my team page. I try to be really motivated. I have a personally sponsored, like I call it the personally sponsored badass thread. It's just a thread that I go into every single day, multiple times, and I get them really excited. So like today, I was like, we've got these $10 off coupons. We've got all these different things. Like, where are you at with Success Club? And just being positive, being in their face, but in a way that's like supportive. Like, people just want to be connected and to feel like they're like in this journey with you. And so I'm going fast and furious, Katrina, but anyways, you guys have any questions about kind of what I'm chatting about? Yes, no one in your business should dictate your business goals. It's true. I've gone through lots of seasons with this, you guys. Like, literally, I've gone through many things like, oh my gosh, here I am again. I'm the only one showing up. And, you know, I know over time things will change. And like in my business, things have changed. But people's seasons and my season are different sometimes, right? And so I just think that we have to keep moving forward, showing up, being really inspirational, and like our team will come with us. And if it doesn't, we can like make them come with us too, if that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions? Anything to say?
No, it's so true. I can say, like, 7 years in this business, the group that first got me to my very first time hitting 5-star, none of them, I have no diamonds left from them except Marie. So one person. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, every year is a rebuild, no matter where you're at in the business. And a lot of times I think we get caught up on, I don't have any working coaches. I don't have any working coaches. Because I didn't have any working coaches until I was a 2-star. And my spouse was
Same.
one of
That's when I got my first working coach.
Yeah. And I didn't have, you know, like, I didn't have my spouse signed up in the business yet. So I helped my team get there. I mean, we all learn the hard way on different things of how to do things. Not saying that's the best way either, but instead of focusing on what we don't have, let's focus on what we do have. And each and every one of you have the ability to go 1-star with a spouse account, a parent account, you know, and 2-star is the same thing. So I completely agree with you that working coaches will come once you've been working in the trenches for a while, and you can start the duplication process of 2-star. Absolutely. Does anybody have anything that they're struggling with? I know August was a hard month, and that's why it's like, I mean, Amy just told you, like, she continued through everything, even though she felt at it alone sometimes, which I think we all have been there. She kept going and she continued to build her business and hit not only Premier and 5-star, like, that feels amazing, right? And she told you 2-star with her spouse and her mom. That's what everybody right here can do, right? If Success Club is your non-negotiable in the business. It's only 12 people.
It's only 12 people. And like, the thing is like, literally, and I totally agree with you, Katrina, like everybody that has been with me that I was like, these are my 5-star people, 5-star to die, love, like in April, like they're falling off. And granted, I mean, even through that time, I was like helping them. And, you know, we were working so close every single day as we were like going into rank. And then like, literally we hit our rank and like, everybody just like takes the breath. I took the breath too, but at the same time, to be able to like take a bigger breath to like start the next stage. And, you know, if you're on this call, you're supposed to be here, right? Like you can be whatever rank coach you want to be. And literally I've learned that. And so my coach that I signed up with over 5 years ago, she quit. She's like my good friend from high school. She quit. So I was inherited by another coach who happens to be a really good coach, like top coach in the company. She's amazing. Didn't have to take me in, but she did, which I'm super grateful of. And so like things happen. Like I'm currently on a dead leg. Well, not currently, I'm always going to be on a dead leg. Things come and go in your business. And I think where you need to really settle with yourself is like, you need to make those non-negotiable. Like, so I'm on a dead leg. I don't have everybody business that maybe wants to build with me. Doesn't matter. I'm going to hit Success Club. I'm going to hit, Success Club 10. I'm going to show up for my business. I'm going to wake up a little bit earlier. I'm going to stay up a little later, whatever that may look like, and show up. And so you can't let all the things around you like happen and come into your politics. But I mean, like right now I'm dealing with some coaches that are like, Facebook sucks. I'm like, well, yeah, duh. I mean, this is a hard, I feel like my time as a business building coach in the last 5 years, this last several months have been just hard because I'm really good at being able to like not look through stuff, but life is stressful. Like we're living through stresses through a pandemic, all the things that I don't think affected me until just recently, where I'm actually noticing it. Cause I was like, well, I'm going to rise above. I'm going to rise above. And then I'm like, wait a second, Jesus, this is a lot. But you're probably going through that, or your coaches are probably going through that. And I think just like building that friendship and that relationship and just like leading by example and like all balls to the wall, it's still something in my throat. Probably wine, because every time I talk at a call, I get nervous. So I'm drinking red wine. But I think the biggest thing is like, you just need to really never give up. And obviously I've never talked on this team call before. I don't know where you guys are in your businesses and like what your struggles have been. But that's been my biggest struggle, is just like trying to really recruit, trying to find that, like, get rid of the self-doubt. But I think if we show up and we do the things, all that stuff goes out the window. Like you have to let it, and like things will happen. And literally you can build this business pretty far up in rank by yourself if you've got the willpower to do it. Did I have to work double freaking hard to do that? Absolutely, but it's possible. And so like no excuses. Like there's never excuses in this business, for sure. But any other questions? Like this crazy girl's on our call. Like, what is she doing here? She can't even talk.
No way, you're great. I love it.
Okay, a hot mess. Necessarily a question, but yeah. I love that. I'm a hot mess too. I am 2-star diamond. I was premier last year. It'll be, by the grace of God, it'll be a magic maker, a miracle worker if I hit premier early this year. But I have had a really long year. My husband was in the police academy, and now he's like in field training, and he just got off of that. So his schedule has changed every 4 weeks. And I have 2 kids under 2, and I just went back from maternity leave, and I'm in the military. So I'm like, now that my husband is off of his phase training, it's like for the first time in over a year that I can feel like I can breathe. And I'm like, oh, I can relax. And I'm just finding like I'm really struggling wanting to pick up my phone and talk to people and communicate. And especially with everything going on, like when I'm at work, I'm an intelligence specialist. So everything is about Afghanistan right now. And those conversations are really hard. And so then coming home and like getting on social media, and that's all I see, I'm having a really hard time. I'm almost like paralyzed. Like I find myself going down a rabbit hole. So if you have any suggestions on how to like, because I feel like I've been taking my foot off the gas because I've been trying to like focus on my husband and help his career. And now we have a breather, and I feel like Beachbody has gone to the back burner, and I want it to go to the back burner, but now I feel paralyzed and run over.
Jesus, I feel the exact same way right now with everything. I'm not in intelligence or any of those things. So I just have recently, I feel bad. Like a month ago when I was supposed to talk on this call, I was in a much different mindset. So maybe this is helpful, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I feel the exact same way. So I work in the schools. I'm not dealing with stuff in Afghanistan, right? I'm not, but I'm dealing with like masks, no masks, vaccine, no and like I'm just like, okay, can we just like educate children? Like it doesn't have to be so difficult, right? Like, but I hear you, and I'm in the same place where I am just like, I'm in this like paralyzation, like I can't explain it, right? But I'm sure you're in the same place. Like at least hearing you, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how that feels, and I'm not dealing with what you're feeling, but I feel how you feel. And so what I've been doing is just really trying to, which is how I started my business. Yet it was easier then because the world wasn't as hard then. Excuse me. But when I go into social media and I do my power hour, I am very intentional. I actually am very intentional. It's probably one of the best qualities I have with my business is I go in there, I actually have a screen, what am I trying to say? A PowerPoint, like a Canva PowerPoint presentation. And even this business for a little over 5 years, I go through my own PowerPoint every day because I know I can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like invite, you know, happy birthdays. Like I can't, like I get lost. And so I set my timer even when I'm alone. Like I do power hours for my team every day. I sit by myself most days, but I do it. I'm like, if you want to come on to this power hour every single day, granted, everybody's time's different. And I'm mountain and a lot of my girls are Eastern. And so I get and a lot of them are teachers. So like our times are so off, but I put myself on a schedule and I'm very, very like articulate with how I run my power hour. And so there's days that I haven't done my power hour, which has normally been my 100% number one thing. But I think if you can structure it where you're like, okay, I'm going to invite, like I am not scrolling, you know, and that's hard. And I've been struggling with it too. But I think if you can somehow put yourself, if you're at all type A like me, but try to put yourself on a schedule, like I am going to be building relationships. I think that's what's been the hardest for me, at least right now, is building the relationships because I'm trying to build. I'm like, this person's crazy. And then I go to, you know, and so I think you also have to be able to really be honing in on who is like commenting on your posts because those are your people. And even if they end up not being your people, like maybe you move on from that, whatever. But I think just like, you know, I spend a lot more time really inviting right now. So anybody I see in my stories, I mean, you guys know this stuff, but anybody I see in my stories, anybody I see, you know, commenting on my stuff, I'm inviting and I'm trying to dabble into their stuff, but I'm also trying to put myself first a little bit. And I think that's been a little bit helpful. So I don't know if that's a helpful thing to say. I mean, but I feel you. This is an interesting time, and I didn't experience this when I first started my business, you know. But we're the light. This is the other thing I try to tell my team all the time. I'm like, be the light in somebody's darkness. The world is dark. Like pretty much 9 out of 10 people I deal with on social media is dark right now. And I don't think they intentionally mean to be dark. It's just a rough time. And so I'm like, how can I lead with positivity? How can I support people? Like, how can I, like, I've been trying to, in my stories, doing some like recipes, you know, doing more recipes or just more like fun. Like I've got 2 boys. I'm a mom of boys that can't pee in the toilet. And so I talk about that a lot and just like trying to be a light versus, you know, the darkness that everybody's kind of experiencing right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would say too, Peyton, is just find things that you can switch the light on, right? Like to light up the shadows is kind of how, you know, I don't want to say it's cliche to say be the light because we hear it so much, but find things that do bring joy, right? Like, no, because it was exactly what was going through my mind is like, be the light, be the light. But I'm in the same frozen ass place you guys are, right? And I'm like, what does bring joy, right? Well, you have 2 of the cutest little kids ever, Peyton, so you can totally use that to your advantage. People want to see that, you know, so use mom hacks, you know, things like that. And that's another where it's like, I was just talking with my Success Club partner about this and she's like, why a free group in September? You never run free groups. And I'm like, I don't think it has anything to do with the month. I think the free group that comes about is because I think people need something to come together on because we are so divided right now. If it's coming together over food, I'm Italian, that's kind of where we meet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a free group on food, like whatever. And that's kind of far-fetched digging, but that's how dark it is, that's the way I found the light. So whether it's being a mom of 2 under 2 or, you know, the fact that you are a police wife and you can do something with that, or man, how hard it is to be in the military right now. I cannot even imagine, but you probably see some silver lining in there, right? That you can speak to. And so you're gonna have to get creative with lots of different things because you can't speak on one of those too much, but yeah, shine the light where it's darkest. It's kind of like make your struggle your superpower. Not to steal that one from Jess, but it's
Yes.
true.
Well, and Peyton, with you having like the military and the police, right? That's contentious for some people, right? Well, working in education, same. And so I've been really trying to be like, I've been going live in my stories a lot, being like, oh, so I've heard a lot of drama about all these mask mandates. Let me tell you why this is great. Or, and nobody wants to wear masks, right? I get it, but I'm trying to come in as like what I've been doing, and I feel like it has helped me a little bit, is like explaining, like, regardless if you believe it's great or not, let me tell you how school is really great right now. It doesn't matter, like your kids are safe, teachers are safe, so I try to come into that positive light, because I do feel everybody's gonna tell you when everything is rough with every part of the world right now. But if you can come in and be like, actually, this could be not great for you, but let me tell you why it's really positive for me and my family, like focus on this stuff. Like, it's really great. We have free lunches all year, and I don't have to pack a school lunch this year, like trying to come back in as a positive, which it's not good food, but still trying to stay positive. But, that's, I think, because you are probably too in a place where people are paying attention, like, whoa, regardless if they support you or they don't, right? Like, and so be able to shed the light of what's really how your life is great, and what you're doing is helpful and all that stuff. I think that it's good to kind of come in, like, I don't know, I try to play that devil's advocate game a lot with my business, like when and granted this is a newer thing, but when things seem really, really negative, I'm like, wait, I'm going to shed light on the positivity of that. Like, it doesn't have to be negative. Like, come to my page to see light versus everybody else is upset.
Anyone else? Anything you're struggling with? Anything? You can ask anything here. Anything you want to say?
Okay, so when you are building your business only using controlled accounts, like, isn't that hard? I mean, like, to be authentically a leader, this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are like, okay, so I'm a 2-star or I'm a 1-star. I'm not either of those. But I'm saying, like, to build the business and then to only be building on your controlled accounts, like, to me, it's a little deflating. And so how did you keep that, be the light, going constantly to remind yourself that it's worth all that effort in that place? Does that make sense?
Yes, that's a great question. And so I'm glad actually you asked that. So
Sorry.
when I hit 2-star, I was my only building business coach. I hit 2-star, and my momentum, a bunch of my coaches, like, all of a sudden started to build. And because I was like, Jesus, I'm doing this by myself. And I remember being on the cruise with Beachbody in the morning of the cruise, whatever day that was. I guess Thursday, obviously, is when they rank. I hit 6 weeks of my 2-star, like, on the cruise. I was like, it's all meant to be. The stars are aligning, knew it was really hard. And then my team, like, shot up. And it was like this amazing thing where I'm like, where have you been? I've been doing this alone for over 2 years. Like, now all of a sudden you're going to show up so then I have this new wave of girls that were excited. And that new wave of girls, I think, is what got me to hit us, not me. It's never about me, right? Our team to hit Premier last year. And so as we're starting to fall down, like, you go through the August month, which is hard, July, right? All the things, well, actually July was great last year because of MBF, but like, if things started to slow down, we're still in a pandemic, we as a team hit Premier. My team then shot back up, like, all the accolades, all the excitement. I had a bunch new discount coaches and a bunch old regular coaches starting to, like, get excited. Then we hit 5-star, and now we've come back down. And so I say, when I say I'm doing it by myself, I'm not. I mean, I've had girls that come and go, but I think a lot of it has had to do, like, the more I reflect on it, because I talk to my coach about this all the time. I'm like, is it me? Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm giving it my all, like, what's happening? And she's like, you're a lifer. Like, you will keep that momentum. And even when the seasons go down, you don't give up. Your other coaches, if they're not lifers, they kind of tend to, like, a little bit, right? So when we start, like, I get excited and I'm still pushing, like, we should hit Premier in what, a week and a half, my team should, and we're well on our way to elite this year. And so I, like, even though everybody's been struggling, I'm hoping that when we see that as a team, it's going to build them up, and then we may come back down. I don't know. And I think too, again, like I keep saying, this is a weird season, but I'm not just building it by myself. So they fall off, but then as those people fall off, we hit another goal. I get more excited, they get excited, new people pop up. And as you're excited too, I try to invite to the business opportunity every single day in my stories or on my posts. Every day I'm like, you build and you attract what you're talking about, right? So, I'm like, I am a busy mom of 2 boys. I work full time, but I'm making this work, barely surviving. I mean, I talk about it because I'm like, I don't want ever. For a while in my business, I used to not pretend it was easy, but I would be like, oh yeah, build this business, it's great. I'm like, it's kind of great, but I've been waking up since 3 a.m. for a year. Like, it's not like it's easy stuff, right? Like, we have to put in the work, but me putting in the work has changed my whole life. Like, we have more money. We have to be able to travel, to be able to spend on sporting things. We have more money to be able to put down on our addition that we're about to start doing in the spring. Like, all the things, I see the benefits because I'm putting in the work. And so, Heather, I don't know if that's answering your question, but I feel like, it does feel like a solo ride a lot for me in my business, but it's not. I've got girls that show up to my team calls every single day. I'm like, wow, you've been a coach for 6 years. What are you doing? Where are you at? Don't become a preferred customer, because I'm like, some people, just aren't ready. But then as you get inspired and you keep showing up and you're doing the thing, people show up out of nowhere. I had a girl 2 months ago that has been my customer for 6 years. She's finally decided to get signed up and build a business, and she's hitting Success Club. Where have you been for 5 years? You've been my customer for 5 years. Now she's ready. And so I think as we do the thing, people get inspired and they come with us. That's been my experience.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is show them. Because I can tell you, Heather, Peyton was signed with me once. She wanted nothing to do with the business. Same with Victoria. You have to show them. You have to pave the way. And maybe that isn't why it's not just right after 2-star, but at 2-star, you can clone yourself, get yourself to 3-star. And even then you're thinking I don't have any business builders. No, but that's when they come, because you're showing them what's possible. You're going on trips. You are seeing, not just trips, but you're seeing how your life changes. Because that is one thing I will say, since I retired my photo business and I went on a 3-week sabbatical with my husband, with hello, people are like, I want your life. Those were messages in my inbox. How do I get that type of freedom? You build a business. You build a business, a sustainable business with residual income, and you create freedom. So you have to show them. That is the only thing I can tell you, is you got to show those people. And then that makes everyone in the downline or even in your customer base privy to what you're doing, because it's in the forefront of their mind that, dang, she lives a pretty amazing life. And she does what? She sells fitness programs, or whatever, works out in her living room. Believe me, I have people all the time still that are like, I have watched you for years. And it's the secret sauce, guys, isn't just consistency. It's not quitting. It's not giving up. It's continuing to show up. And yeah, I love it, because in the beginning I was like, anybody can build this business. And now I'm like, no, I don't want everybody to build this business. I want people I want to spend my time with to build this business. I think I said this on a call. It was hilarious, because everyone's like, it looks like you and all your girls, it's like a fun sorority. I'm like, I don't want a sorority sister. I want a damn soccer player who's ready to go win a championship, right? You get to pick who you want in this business, but you have to show them what's possible. And I don't want people that just want to come for the slumber party. I want people to come to show up and do the work and make shit happen. But you got to show them, 1, it takes work, and 2, if you're in it for the long haul and you are consistent and don't give up, it's possible, right? It's not for everybody. But those that you show that to and you continue to preach that to, they'll be there. And they will come out of the woodwork, I promise. So don't feel like you're doing it alone. You have all of us.
They do.
They do come out of the
And even like the Success Club, like not going back. It's true. Sorry. I think we're like timed out. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. I don't mean to be. But I think that but going back to the Success Club, like you have to be hitting Success Club. And I feel like too, my business, because I was like, oh, Success Club, signed up 3 people. Well, my people started to show up more when I was hitting Success Club 10. They're like, holy shit, how are you hitting Success Club 10? I'm like, I'm working my business. So it's like, you know, if you're asking your people to do something and you're not doing it, they're like, well, what's the point? Like, why does it even matter if you're not doing what, like, you have to be that model, like all the time. And literally, like, there's been days I have like, I actually had a team call yesterday. I was by myself. I'm like, really? I'm 5+ years in this business and I'm by myself tonight? Like, what the frick? But I mean, I get people get busy, but I mean, we've had a rough couple of months as a team. I think I have a lot of teachers. And so there's a lot of teachers on the East Coast. They're starting work this week. I've been working for a month. I'm like, I've already been through all the drama. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, still breathing, right? But I mean, I get it. Like, this is a weird season, but I think, you know, it doesn't mean that I'm not showing up. Like, I still show up to the team calls. I'm still hitting Success Club. I'm still, you know, coming, you know, it's part of what, like, that culture you built, right? So like, if you're like, oh, I'm just going to peace out for like 6 months, well, so are your coaches, you know. And granted, Heather, I don't know your situation. I'm not talking just to you. I'm just saying everybody, like, you know, because I keep looking at you. I don't know if you can tell, but you just asked the last question. But, you know, I think the biggest thing is we have to be tough as nails. Like, regardless of what's going on, we just have to show up and keep putting in the work. Like and honestly, the longer I do it, the more that I see this, like it's just it's like a circle. It just keeps coming around. It's good. I'm a mess.
I absolutely love that. It's just
Does
like,
Marie have a baby on her? But Marie just came up. Does she have a baby on her belly?
yeah, that's the new babe. Marie, we're talking about you.
Where is the baby?
You're muted.
You're
Hold on.
muted.
Sorry, I said I'm trying to be like part of the screen, but not actually
Oh.
show you that I have a baby strapped to me and no shirt on.
Oh, it's fine.
But yeah, I guess now that I'm unmuted, awesome call. Thank you very much for like preaching a different side of this, because I will probably have to create my own 2-star situation as well. I've been in this business for 5 years and I have one kind of business, one kind of person who works it, and the rest of it I pull together myself. So
You can do it. Honestly, like, I will say, I mean, I feel like, and I hope this call hasn't sounded negative. That's not my
Oh,
intention.
no, absolutely not.
I want it just to sound like literally like, because all I want in this bit, well, all I wanted was to be a discount coach forever. And then I was like, Jesus, I want to have like, so my coach is Tara Bialik. I don't know if you know who that is. She worked a lot with Michael Folsom for a long time. So like, I'm like, I want Michael Folsom's life. I want Tara Bialik's life. I want that. And I'm like, but nobody under me wants to work this business, you know? And so I was like, but I'm not going to give up. And we go through seasons, but you just like, make it happen. Like, even now I'm like, okay, so here I am, 5-star. I mean, I'm not anymore. I'll be honest about that, but my people fall off, but I'm like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, screw this. Like, I hit Premier last year. Like, we're well on our way to hit elite. And I mean, it doesn't, if my coaches aren't going to show up, and I need to find more people, like, period. And that's what I'm working on right now, is like finding a new wave of people, because your people you have aren't going to be the same ever in your business, which is hard, because I feel like I lock onto the relationships where I just love girls, or like girlfriends, right? I'm like, oh my God, I just want a bunch of girlfriends. I'm like, they're not showing up. Doesn't mean I don't like them, but I'm like, well, Jesus, it'd be a whole lot easier to hang out if you could just show up in your business, you know. But it's like finding more people that want to work with you, that you want to work with too. You know, you got to build that community and just keep, you know, not like showing them that there is no doubt, there's no fear, you know, keep showing up.
yeah,
Baby.
I need to do better at talking about the business on my social media and my stories, because they say you attract what you talk about. Like, I attract a bunch of people that want to work out. Like, I have a really awesome workout community, and even though I like am quick to share all of the benefits that this brings to my life, like I don't do it in the appropriate ways because I'm not attracting those people that want to do that same thing. Like I attract people who want to work out, and then they get great results and they're super happy with it. But
Like, peace.
then yeah, they're like, I got my workouts. I don't necessarily need all this extra stuff. So I'm going to find you on social media and follow you so that I can see how you talk about coaching 5 to 10 times a week and see if I can copycat some of that.
All right. It's been a little rough the last couple of weeks, but that's my goal to get it back. I was like, this call is going to bring me back to my fire. No,
Well,
I mean, I'm just like every other human, right? I mean, you know, and that's the thing. I feel like we constantly like, I love Mondays. I love new months. Like tomorrow, thank God, because August almost killed me. So I was like, tomorrow, new month. I got new goals for my stories, all the things. So yeah, find me on social media and I will be all prepped and ready. I promise.
all right. I'll be that girl. Like, click to follow.
Love it.
But yes, awesome call. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any last comments, questions? Sally, Robin, Sierra, anything? Yeah, quiet.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I'm a hot mess, you guys. Like literally, I'm like, if anybody can build this business and watch what I just did on this call, like anybody can do it. I mean, literally, I'm like, I'm a hot mess. I don't have a slideshow. I got none of those things. I'm like, here I am. It's not even great. I'm going to talk about it, but I don't know. I appreciate you having me on.
Let's get a picture really quick so we can blow up your social media. 1, 2.
Love it.
Wait, what happened to Heather? Heather, what did you do to your
She's like,
camera?
I don't want to be part of this.
There she is. Oh, I thought she dropped it. Oh my God, I'm all, why is it a green wall? Amy, you're amazing. I absolutely love you. And don't let anybody tell you any different, hot mess or not. You got this, and you don't need no fancy slideshow, okay? You guys will come back. I know how you'll go for You got it. I love it. All right, ladies, thanks for tuning in. I will put this up on Instagram, tag you all. I can share the picture too in the team page so you have it. But let's not let the momentum or lack thereof in August slow us down. This is when we turn it on for September. Find something to focus on. Routines are huge with back to school. That is something that we're very good at, or at least a lot of us are, with our morning routine. Share that with people. Let that be your light, right? Give them a solution to whatever problem is out there right now. And I know that morning routine is one of them, because if everybody started their morning a little more positive, maybe social media wouldn't be so dark. That is my little tidbit for you all. So I love you guys, and I'll get the recording up as soon as possible. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Bye.